Hi guys. Today we're going to talk about a very specific mode that we all rely on many a time, when dabbling in the stock market, which is tips. We receive this in the form of messages. Relatives of ours say, hey, you know what, I think that stock's going to go up, or they have some information. So tips in general, and obviously we have Balaji Rao again with us. So thank you, sir, for the time. So again, spend a few minutes today. Really, this topic is something that I have personally gone through and not had very good experiences, with it. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who possibly, out of ignorance, in a sense of wanting to make money quickly, rely on these things called tips. So, what is your take, on this element called tips, and how would you, I guess, look at it, and what do you have to say to our viewers today?
See, where have we heard this term tips? We're in a restaurant, no? That you give tips to the waiter, or the waiter takes tips from the guests,
Right.
right? So, in investing, for example, what is tips end of the day? That means you are relying on some information. I would like to put that information in quotes. Information
Sure.
that you think is given by somebody
Right.
who is supposed to be an expert.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Tips means you are trying to get some pakka information.
An edge, like an edge.
Probably, what is that? End of the day, you are in the market to make money.
Correct.
You want the stock price to go up or stock price to fall, depending upon you have taken long or a short position.
Sure.
So, what do you want? You need some information, and also you need that instant gratification that I want to make quick money. So, whom will I rely on getting this information?
Right.
And if you have to go and ask a paid forum, you say who will want to pay for all these things?
Sure.
So you start relying on maybe a friend, maybe a colleague, maybe a relative, maybe an uncle who is older than you,
Right.
or an employee of a stockbroking firm. So
Sure.
today, what can I do? He'll give you tips. Sir, buy this stock today.
Right.
Pakka? He'll say pakka. That becomes a tips, or that becomes tips for you to invest.
Sure.
Now, the idea is, who can give you that info? Let's remove that word tips now.
Sure. Yes.
Who is that person who can give you that information, or that pakka information that should make your expectation come true? That means you should rely upon somebody who is an expert, no?
Correct.
Experts don't give tips here. Will a doctor give you tips?
Of course not.
Doctor gives you advice.
Correct.
Does a lawyer give you tips? He will give you advice.
Correct.
Isn't it? So you should
Absolutely.
meet a proper financial consultant, a
Sure.
qualified person. Then you should consider that instead of calling it as tips,
Right.
calling it information that you got, which is
Right.
reliable.
So, how do we ascertain whether it's reliable or not? Yes, I know. I get what you're saying. That we go to a professional, a person who either is qualified or who's been in the market themselves as a trader, for instance, right? But how do we get comfortable that it's reliable?
See, reliability comes from, if you, let's say, you see a doctor's visiting card, that person has put Dr. So-and-so, and that person has put MBBS,
Sure.
MD, MS, Ortho, yes, put, let's say.
Sure.
Okay, don't you feel confident that when I'm going and meeting this person, he is qualified to give me a particular medicine for my ailment?
Sure.
I want to ask you, if that person who is giving tips, does that person has that visiting card which proves that person is giving you reliable information?
No.
See, people take tips on various things because human minds,
Right.
is to, if a dog bites a man, it is not a news. But when a man bites a dog, it becomes a news, isn't it?
Right.
So this kind of things is what people are getting gratification.
Sure.
And this is where I think most of people are lost money when they receive messages, SMSs,
Correct.
saying that buy this stock today,
Correct.
you will make double the money in the next few days.
Correct.
And that person knows who is giving that, you got on Bakra today,
Correct.
or a set of Bakras got today, they will buy at the peak of the price, lose money, and
Sure.
finally who gets blamed? the stock market gets blamed. So tips is something which is completely unscientific, and the biggest possible way to lose money in stock market is to rely on this term called tips.
Tips. Okay, and fair enough. And I have one last question for today, right? So this is really sort of framing this question in a scenario where I'm seeing a lot of the millennials do something that they do today, which is even with doctors, for instance, me, just based on past experience of my relatives with doctors, even today, whatever a doctor says, you go and look up the triple W. You go and want to verify to get comfortable nowadays. Earlier, yes, like you said, you look at the card, you look at it. There was some element of purity to that process. Today, everything is being verified. Millennials are just not comfortable relying on a person. So is it same thing? Is there a way, and I'm assuming I know this answer already, is to really come to stock market, enable yourself to be able to, take control of that process. But that whole point of, even if you go to a stock market professional, how comfortable are we today that, do we need to be comfortable that we should also do some sort of verification on our own also?
See, basically it is research. That is what makes an investor or a trader to be able to make money in this market.
Being an informed investor.
Exactly. See, that informed investing means you have to put effort on your own to be able to arrive at what is going to happen to this particular stock or the market as such.
Correct.
Okay, somebody giving you tips is something you are trying to take the shortest possible route or shortcut to make that money, no?
Correct.
That means you should have the ability to understand the person who has given the tips has same ability, no?
Correct.
That person may be working in some IT company, for example.
True.
That person tells, chal yaar, buy this stock today. So because you have certain affinity towards person, you think the person may not go wrong.
Correct.
You might have bought that.
Correct.
Maybe you are that person was right one time, two time.
Exactly.
Then if a quack is going to give you medicines and make you healthy, then why should a doctor study MBBS?
Correct.
So there are so many. See, Google is not a one-point solution to find answers to all your questions.
Right.
Google is a place where it collates data and give it to you.
Correct. What you do and how you interpret the data is...
So you have to see, losing money in market is very easy if you do not follow certain procedures. Okay. So what is the procedure you have to follow? Is that you have to learn end of the day. That's what it is.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah, there's no school that where it school matlab in colleges they don't teach you.
Correct.
Or schools they don't teach you stock. But I think there are various modes today
Sure.
where you can definitely upgrade your skills.
Correct.
Learn, put some time, put some effort until you are not confident that what I can do in the market. Why would you rely on somebody else?
Absolutely.
I don't think many people don't even know on the road which left I have to take. They would have said go straight, take left. Many times that also would have been fake.
Absolutely.
So people don't know to tell you where they have to take right, where to take left. How can somebody give you tips on buying stocks?
Correct.
I think it's one of the most frivolous way of looking at that. I got tips and I made money in the market. No,
Right.
it's like rain coming without clouds. I think it's not reliable. I think people should avoid all this age-old practice of taking tips and doing. Let's leave the restaurant workers to get tips.
To get the tips.
I think that is what is the best thing.
Fair enough. So thank you so much for that time. So hopefully the message is very clear, right? So tips is something which could be a fluke, right? But it's not something or a way of relying and making money in the stock market, right? So guys, this is a really, really fundamental takeaway. Ensure you make an informed decision, when getting into the stock market, and really that process is about owning the process and, taking control of your own money. So hopefully this is helpful. Any questions, thoughts, comments, do reach out to us and send us your comments on YouTube and follow us. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.